Hello, my name is Jeremy Eastburn, and I am a senior systems engineer with Boomi. Today, I'm going to be showing you how Boomi can enable streamlined application or request processing, specifically by providing users the ability to fill out simple or complex forms and allow reviewers in the backend to easily approve or reject requests. But first, there's a lot of challenges that exist when it comes to handling either small or large volumes of applications from customers. So I wanted to call out a couple of different challenges that do exist. And first of all is the cumbersome and complex forms that can exist within your organization around multiple pieces of information needing to be collected and maybe walking the user or the customer through that process. Also need to provide customers and users the ability to use any device. So whether that's desktop devices or mobile devices, we need to be able to support that. In the bottom left, the ability to handle tracking of the review and approval process. So that means once applications have been submitted, how can we have approvers actually go through review applications, make decisions, and then provide approvals that allow it to go on to the next process. And lastly, backend system integrations. With the application process, it might involve needing to pull or retrieve information from one or multiple systems. And then once the application is approved, we can send that on to one or more systems on the back end. So to go from that challenge over to what the solution might look like, what I'm going to be showing you today is a demonstration of how a loan application for the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program might be offered for financial institutions throughout the US. And I'm going to be demonstrating a couple of key pieces of functionality, including the ability to have a single app that walks the customer through that whole process from end to end, keeping them within the same path. The ability to offer the application process on any device, whether it's desktop, mobile, and to be able to seamlessly handle that. Simplifying approvals. So as we discussed, as far as the challenges, how can we offer reviewers and approvers an easy checklist or work queue around what applications need to be reviewed and approved? And lastly, this is all going to be handled through the Boomi platform. And really what we're achieving here is the ability to build, customize, and deploy your apps quicker because you can use a low-code application development platform as is offered by Boomi. So let's switch over to our actual demonstration here. And just note that this is just going to be an example of a subset of functionality that Boomi can offer. So each application process is different, and Boomi can specifically help achieve any of those results needed, regardless of what data gathering requirements exist. So what we're seeing here is just that welcome screen that's going to give the applicant an idea of what process they're about to walk through. And that means that we can also see a wizard at the top that's showing them how many steps are in the process, and it'll show them where they are along the way. So let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out a couple of pieces of information here. Again, this is just a few simple pieces of data that we're going to gather. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my name here, provide my email address just because we want to be able to receive email notifications. And let's go ahead and put in a sample address. And let's say I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm going to put in some invalid information here because what we want to do next and achieve as part of this demonstration is the ability to actually do address validation or verification. So when I click this button, the Boomi platform is actually calling an address validation and verification service because we want to get a cleansed and verified version of the address that the user typed in. But we want to offer the user the ability to have the final decision of what address they're providing. So on the left-hand side, we see the address that I typed in verbatim. But then on the right-hand side, we see here is a verified and cleansed address that we got back from our verification service that actually fills out the correct postal code, gives us the country, and cleans up the address line. So we want to go ahead and use this verified address for my application. So now again, we can see within our navigation at the top, we see that we're 3 steps into the 5-step process here. And we're just going to collect a couple more pieces of information that I want to get that loan amount here. Let's say I want to get a $564,504 loan. And then we're going to attach any required documentation. So this could be really anything and everything that you want to be able to attach. So for example, I'm just attaching a simple PDF here. And then one other thing that we might want to offer is the ability to gather an applicant's signature. So I can actually use my mouse or trackpad and give my signature that can be carried along with the actual submission process. So at this point, I have everything that I want to submit as part of this application. So I'm going to save and submit this. Now I get a notification here saying that it has been submitted. I get a loan application number, and it says I'm going to get an email notification when the status changes. So now we're all done with under the persona of the applicant, and an email notification was sent off here to the approver. Because what we want to do now is switch into the persona of what an approver might need to see, that they get an email saying a new application came in, and we need to allow them the opportunity to come in, review, and approve or reject those applications. So we see now under the persona of the approver, I see a table here listing, here's all of the applications that have been submitted that are still pending approval, or I can scroll down and see, here's all the applications that have already been processed. So I can also page through the list of requests here, and I see here's the application that I just submitted. And then I can see here the ability to review as an approver all of the name, email, address. Again, this is cleansed address information that came through, as well as the loan amount. And we can also expand to view any attached documentation here. And we can see the applicant's signature. Now, if we wanted to, we could go ahead and reject this application. If we're rejecting, we're probably going to want to gather a couple of data points here to say, please provide additional required documentation. So that might be one reason, but you could also collect some additional information here, and that is going to be rejected at this point, and an email notification is going to be sent back to the applicant, as we see here, that it's been rejected with comments, and they can either come back in and modify their original application or maybe submit a brand new application. And if we want to, instead of rejecting an application, let's see what it looks like to approve an application. Again, we can see all of the information about this application. And as we scroll down, confirm that signature and then approve the application. At this point, we can then carry on this application to the next stage in the process. That's going to be different for every company, every organization. This may need to then kick off to another backend system within your infrastructure, your ecosystem, to possibly send off payment to that customer or send off to another level of approval there. So there's a lot of things that can be done through the Boomi platform. And this is just one example about how we can streamline that loan application process for you. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you.